4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
He has a lot of problems.
Struggle to be top 5 in points at the end of the season.
Wow.
You bleach your hair, you're a sellout.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Moto Aftermath Show. This is episode number 348. Unadilla. We are here. We are wrapping up. We are solo in studio. So if you're not into the monologue shows, well, sorry about your luck. You're going to have to come back in the following weeks here because this week we're here. We were supposed to have someone in studio. He was double booked. We tried a few other things. That also didn't work out. So here we are. I'm your host, Travis. I want to thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. We do motocross and supercross content here, everything from actual riding footage to the talk shows like this. Seth, what's going on with that, man?
I don't know.
That's insanity.
We're just gonna shut this off.
That's like Ghostbusters. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. Holding it down, producing the show, not knowing what the technical difficulties are, which is why we pay him the way we do. It's Seth. Hey, buddy. Thanks for being here, man.
Of course.
All right. On board with us tonight, obviously, we're in the TLR Coatings studios here. Worx going to bring you your 450 race recap. We're going to have Complete Racing Solutions bringing you your halftime report. I'm not sure if I've got an Armory Reload rant for this week or not. TLR tinfoil hat, I do have one of those. Flo Racing going to be bringing us our 250 race recap. And then we've also got Alias MX, Adept Creative Co., and Nano X Treme on board with us. So for all your gear, graphics, or if you need any pain cream, Nano X Treme is your place for that. And they now have pain cream for your pets too. So make sure to check it out. All natural. Dives deeper into your skin than any other pain creams there. Nano X Treme. There's going to be links in the description for all of this. And with that being said here, let's jump into our 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Worx. Always well hung, just like Justin Barsha. If you're in the Southwest Michigan area, make sure to check them out if you need gutters or any other sort of home exterior modifications. So we'll fire right off here with Jet goes 2-1 for first overall there, and the tables have essentially turned here. We went into this race weekend. If you didn't check it out, I actually made a video talking about, hey, essentially Jet needed to go 1-1 to have a real shot at this title, right? The brothers are tied on all sorts of different metrics for tiebreakers. He was 12 behind coming in, and I was like, he needs to go 1-1, make up at least, 6 of these points, and then that will get him at least to the point where he can get some momentum going to round off the season. So in the first moto there, when he got second, I kind of went like, oh man, this is basically Hunter's at this point. Now I did have another thought, and if you watch my reaction video, I put this out there. I did have another thought during the second moto of like, man, Hunter really hasn't had an issue, okay? One of the things we run into at outdoors all the time is that guys will have an issue. They're going to have a DNF because of a bike malfunction. They're going to have a big crash and have a DNF. Something's going to happen. And Hunter really hasn't had that. Jet's had kind of his days here where he's had multiple crashes, and like the first round obviously came out and it was kind of getting to see if he could even really ride the bike the way he used to, because of the ankle and everything. So we've kind of seen it with Jet, but we haven't really seen it with Hunter. Even in Supercross, or I guess in Supercross, Hunter did have the whoop crash at Detroit there. But for outdoors here, we hadn't really seen it from him. Well, guess what? We saw it. Obviously, Hunter high sides going down, screw you. Tumbles down to the bottom, has to run up the hill. Bike's mangled. I believe he's okay from what I've heard so far. But the bike was mangled. He rode a few laps and just couldn't do it. No surprise. But it totally flip-flopped the entire series. Now Jet is up by 10. Hunter basically has to win out. There are 4 motos. In order for Hunter to win this title, he has to basically win all 4, because him and Jet are kind of essentially going 1-2. Obviously yesterday they didn't, but they're pretty much 1-2 here every single moto. They just have that little bit extra on everybody else, and because of that, man, like that, like it's do or die for him. I at least he knows the assignment now. There's no, oh, I've got 10 points on Jet, and if I just finish second every moto and he wins, I can do this. Nope. It's now Hunter has to go win, and Jet kind of has to do the maintaining. Now, that being said, I think this was a better Jet yesterday that we saw. I think this was more of a normal Jet that we saw, of like he could turn it up kind of at will. I know in the first moto there, we had the small crash with Deegan, and as much as I'd love to sit here and take shots at Deegs, because everybody thinks I'm a Deegs hater, so I'd love to just take shot after shot at him. And there's other things we'll talk about with him coming up here. I'm not going to. I think Deegan was making a move that he thought he could make at that point on Jet, because he didn't realize how fast Jet was closing on him. Jet closed down that gap way, way, way faster. Like I said, more old school Jet of holy shit, look at that speed. And Deegan thought he had time to make the move over without causing any issues. Obviously, that didn't happen. I think you could kind of see it in the body language of Deegan later on when Jet did come back around and get by him again. He kind of just, and I mean, even James called it out. He kind of just stood up in the corner and just kind of let Jet go by, in essence, which was probably a little bit of like, hey, man, I want to race you. I want to battle you. But like, I'm not trying to do you super dirty like that. Like, I'm not trying to be the guy that is, however, like slower essentially like that. And like if he's going to battle him and pull moves, he's going to do it, I guess, for lack of a better term, in the most professional way possible, which means like he's going to feel like he has the speed to go. And I don't honestly think he feels like he has the speed to go with them right now. I think he's gotten a real big slice of humble pie this year. And yeah, Jet and Hunter are class of the field, plain and simple. So yeah, so that being said, he had the little issue in Moto 1, and if he doesn't have that issue, I know it's all ifs, ands, whats, and buts, but I do feel like he probably wins that first one too, because he was starting to move. Like, there was the first, 5-10 minutes of the Moto, you kind of were like, oh man, is he going to do something? And then you started to see him actually move and actually start to make moves. And like I said, then he had the little run in with Deegs, and that was it. But long story short, Jet's now 10 up, Hunter's 10 down, and Hunter has to win out. So we'll see how this goes, but it makes for an excellent last 4 motos here for the year. And I do believe this title will 100% come down to Ironman. Prado goes 3-2 for second. The off weekend was definitely very helpful for both, I would say, Prado and Deegan. They both looked, in my opinion, okay, and here we go, from the Deegan hater, both Prado and Deegan looked way better yesterday than they have before. They both could kind of hang way better. I started thinking about it because I was way more impressed with how they were hanging. But at the end of the day, like, Prado still got beat in that second moto. As long as he hung in there, he still ended up being 13 seconds down at the stripe or something like that. But I thought it looked better. Let me put it that way. I thought, man, there is the MXGP champion that we thought we were going to get, that was going to come battle. So to see him make improvements there, and he was very open about, he made them try some things with the bike that they didn't really want to try in the break. As I put in my notes, bringing a little MXGP setup spice to the Americas here, which is cool. Look, if it works, it works, okay? And I understand the kind of tribulation for the team not really wanting to give him those kind of settings, because he is so far off on an island by himself. But this is those kind of settings are what won him 2 MXGP world titles. So I think the more and more you give him that, the better he is going to be, which will allow him to at least battle up front. Because there's been a lot of these races that's been very underwhelming, in my opinion. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm questioning the MXGP stuff with the performances he's had. Now, maybe you put him on a full MXGP spec bike, maybe he battles these guys better, and maybe they're getting closer to that, which is what's helping him kind of creep up here. But we'll keep an eye on this space and see kind of what happens. Deegs goes 4-3 for third overall. This is our Deegan danger zone. Not that there's going to be much danger in it, because I don't really have much to say. I thought, again, they put in some work over the break. I thought they made some changes to the bike that, in my opinion, made it look better. I know Stu and some other people kind of weren't impressed with the changes to the bike in the first moto, and they all felt that he made some changes for the second moto, let him ride a little bit better. I was pretty impressed with the first moto too. They said they gave him some more power. He got the whole shot that first moto. That first moto lined up where I was like, yes, this is what we're waiting for. Deegs whole shots, Hunter second, Jet third. Let's effing go. But it kind of, let's face it, we always say that the cream rises to the top, and like Jet and Hunter are the cream of the crop right now, dude. And they made light work out of him, man. Like, they made really light work out of him. And he's doing fantastic. He's having a fantastic rookie season. He, like I said, he's eating a big piece of humble pie, and he's acting humble, which is fine. And I'm sure when he starts to get the feeling that he can run with these boys, I'm sure that the mouth will start running again, which will be great. Gives me something way better to talk about right now, because right now this Deegan danger zone is going to be pretty boring, because there isn't anything really controversial to say, even though I'm sure, even the way I'm speaking right now, you're all going to come after me in the comments, and that's fine. That's my Nano Extreme painful take of the week here, is that the Deegan fans here are going to still hate me no matter what, but whatever. I'm not even going to go after him. If you watch the press conference, he made a comment in the press conference. Deegan himself made the comment that, hey, man, he's just trying to work his body into shape for this 450. I could take a lot of jabs at that. I could take a lot. And there are some people out there who are true haters who I believe would say, like, oh, well, this means he's out of shape and he's this and he's that. That's not what it is. He's not out of shape. The kid is very much in shape. But there's a big difference in inertia, rotating mass, everything like that between a 450 and a 250. And this kid's in great shape, and he can manhandle that 250. But when you get that extra rotating mass, that extra inertia, all the things that come along with it, on top of, you have now guys like the Lawrence brothers, who are the best in the world, handling that 450 for 30 plus 2 twice in a day is a lot. And anybody who talks shit about it, you're an idiot. That's all there is to it. You are an idiot. That kid is in such good shape. However, at the same time, he is still a kid, okay? He is 20, I think. 19, 20, one of the two. I'm probably, Seth, look that up. Please and thank you.
He's 20.
He's 20. Okay, he is 20 years old, okay? There's a big difference between your body as a male when you are 20 years old and when you're 24 years old, which, like, Jet and Hunter are, like, mid-20s there. You develop a lot. You develop a lot of strength, and he has been in the gym working on strength and stuff, which is only going to help him. Like I said, I think as far as Deegan goes here, I think Supercross is going to be another big slice of humble pie he's going to have to eat. He's, in my opinion, not as good at Supercross as he was at motocross. And again, with developing a 450 setup and all the things that come with that, and a riding style on the 450 for Supercross, I do think that it's going to be, again, another big piece of the learning pie. However, I do believe if we make it through that healthy and we get back to motocross next year, it's going to be a big problem for these Lawrence brothers. A big problem, which is exactly what we've all wanted to see. We want to see the Deegans and the Lawrences battle it out, and we're going to get that. We're going to get that, plain and simple. So that's been your Deegan Danger Zone. Nothing real controversial this week. So everybody keep your comments to yourself, because go fuck yourselves. Anyway, moving on here. Marchbanks goes 5-4 for fourth overall. Marchbanks had a really, really good day, especially for a guy who coming in we thought was wasn't even going to race. We thought he was more hurt than he was from that Unadilla crash. Apparently, he's got some sort of ligament damage in his shoulder, but he's rode. It seems okay. All right, we're cool. Which is good because I like seeing Garrett out there and seeing him perform. So RJ goes 6'8" for 5th. Didn't really see him all day, so I can't make many comments. Ferrandis goes 9'6" for 6th. This is kind of right where Dylan is, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's cool. Jed Beaton, Australian champion, comes over, goes 10'9" for 7th. I thought he looked really, really good all day. You know, for a borrowed bike and a back of a pickup truck style setup that they had going here for him to do these last few, I thought that was great. I mean, to be in the top 10 there, and yeah, I mean, yeah, you could push him back probably a couple of spots with the guys, a couple of the guys that finished behind him, much like Hunter who crashed. But outside of that, I mean, you come over, you're in the top 10, like what more can you ask for? You know, this to me is one of those things of like any of these teams looking for a dude, like, here you go. Thanks for coming. Like, good signing here. But I don't know what his Supercross style's like. So Hunter goes 139 for 8th there. We've kind of talked about Hunter. It's his turn to show he's the man. He needs to win out basically to win this title. So if he can do it, we'll see. The turns have tabled here. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Rough deal there. Not a very Hunter Lawrence-esque mistake. And probably one of the worst places to make a mistake like that. But that track yesterday was tricky. It was catching a ton of people out. There were a ton of crashes. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. But we're definitely watching this space because this is the battle for the title here. Hunter versus Jet, 2 rounds to go, 4 motos, winner take all basically. So and we do have some videos from the race too. Shout out to Cole. He was out there riding. I don't know. I think he was riding today. I know he rode Friday. He's got a picture or video or something. I'm sure I'll have video of throwing a big old nasty whipper tail over Sky Shot. So make sure to check out Cole's social medias there too. At Yugeti 191, I think is what it is. So Justin Cooper comes back. He goes 8-12 for 9th. Kind of, this is what I thought we'd kind of see. He's been out for a long time with that concussion issue. Lots of side effects from it. I hope it really has all kind of gone away, and that's why he's back. Because if he's back, even though it hasn't gone away, that's a bit of a come on, man, please don't do that. Because yeah, that must have been a nasty concussion that he had. But again, good. I wish it wasn't because of injury, but he needed some time off. I mean, you're looking at a guy in the last 2 years who has done every single race for 2 years. So nice to see him at least have some time off, even though, yeah, it was for that, which sucks. But I don't know. It's a blessing and a curse. Let's put it that way. Justin Barsha goes 14-7 for 10th. Home race. Okay, that's Barsha in a nutshell. Eli Tomac. I'm going to press that panic button a little bit here. Tomac goes 7-14 for 11th. I'm very concerned here that this is the real beginning of the end for Eli Tomac. I know that he signed for next year. He's got a Supercross only deal. But man, I hope this. And again, I've heard rumblings, and I don't blame him, that the crash kind of scared him. Which I don't blame him, dude. You crash and fuck up your neck, and it is gonna scare anybody. I have thoughts of crashing like that all the time, and I'm like, oh God, I can't. Please God, no. So to actually do it there, the 7's okay. But the second moto there, the 14th, I think at one point he was running around in like 18th when after Hunter went down. I think I saw that on the board, and I'm like, oh God, Elizabeth, I didn't see him all day. At not 1 point. So we'll see. I am going to Ironman in a couple weeks. Because he's doing so poorly, we don't get to see him on TV. So I will see what I'm going to pay attention to what it looks like when I go to Ironman. But this is And everybody keeps talking like, oh, well, if he does okay, like maybe they'll put him on MXON. Dude, you're going to have to do better than the 714, man. Like, sorry. Cooper Webb goes 12-10 for 12th. It's very Cooper Webb. I would say Cooper Webb's not a Unadilla style guy. So for him to do this, okay, great, cool. Moving on. Last two outdoors for him. Harrop goes 13-11 for 13th. Okay. Mark Finnis, 21-5 for 14th. Shout out Mark Finnis, running up front, top 5 there, second moto. What a just the feel good story of the summer here of him going from not racing to showing up to running whatever the heck he did there at, was it Redbud or something? I don't know. Somewhere he was running way up front there after the first few, to then now he's on that international Supercross team or something like that, whatever that Kawasaki team is, and now he's, getting top 5s in motos. What a cool story, dude. What a cool story. Benny goes 15-13 for 15th. Doesn't have to retire. Big positive for him. Zacho didn't beat him, so he doesn't have to retire. Corn Dog goes 16-17 for 16th. Jordan Smith goes 11-24 for 17th. I assume that 24 was some sort of crash induced because it's Jordan Smith and it was Unadilla, so whatever. Mitchell Harrison, WSX Sensation, goes 17-19 for 18th. Lorenzo Lacrucio goes 24-15 for 19th. And Malcolm Stewart rounds out the top 20, going 23-16 for 20th in his return there. Sounds like it's pretty confirmed that he is going to Kawasaki for 2027. I don't remember. Let's see here. I haven't heard anything about multi-year deal or not, but both indoors and outdoors, which is interesting because we had heard so many heavy rumors about Supercross only deal. Let's see here. Other news and notes here. Let's scroll here. Zach Osborne makes his return to racing, goes 22-40 for 33rd overall. That's okay. I mean, I don't really know what we expected out of Zacho here. He did the Loretta's thing. He threw down, I think he was like 12th in qualifying, man. The guy's been retired for 5 years, which is the same as Dungey. So Zach doesn't have as much prep as I believe Dungey had coming in. But I do kind of look at them. Well, I guess I don't even look at them the same because Dunge was just so much more accomplished than Zach. Zach's super good still. And that 22nd's okay. The 40th, probably some sort of either crash or bike induced. I'm sure we'll hear this week on either Pulpamex or Steve's Moto 60 show. I'm sure we'll hear what sort of issues he had. But I'm not really sure. So we'll see. I know Bud's Creek he likes a lot, so we'll see where he ends up there. But cool to see him back out there. I was a big Zacho guy back in the day for anybody who didn't watch back then. And then Aaron Plessinger goes 38-38 with 2 bike issues. Do I press it? There's some KTM stuff I've been hearing. It's not great. So anyway, that's been your 450 race recap, brought to you by our friends at Gutter Works. Always well hung, just like Justin Barsha. All right. Let's see here. How's the chat going? Is there anybody in the chat, Seth?
One person.
Okay, let me go see. Oh, look, we're up against Whiskey Throttles also doing their live show right now. That's gay. Fuck you, Whiskey. I'm just kidding. I like those guys too. All right, let's see here. Unadilla wrap up. Who's in the chat? VG, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for joining. I can't see you on the screen up here because our screen's not working apparently, and my tech guy that I pay the big bucks is not fixing it. So here we are.
Well, I'll fix it. Fix it afterwards.
Oh, fix it afterwards. Okay, cool. That's why we pay you, is to fix it after the show. So anyway, let's jump into our Complete Racing Solutions halftime report here. If you guys need any health, wellness, fitness, anything like that as far as kind of off the bike stuff, make sure to check out Coach Rob and the whole team at CompleteRacingSolutions.com. Link in the description down below. All right, so we have a bunch of things to talk about here, silly season wise, for halftime. So first off, Beta will be debuting their 250 next year. Currently, Derek Kelly is signed to them, so leaving the MX6 team and signed there for the Beta 250 program next year. So that's a big positive. That is a Supercross / SMX only deal, from what I understand. So that'll be cool from him to actually get a shot at kind of a factory team, as factory as you can get, basically, at this point, because let's face it, Derek Kelly's probably not getting a PC deal or a star deal anytime soon. Prado re-ups with KTM with a 2+1 deal, so he is going to be at KTM for 27 and 28, and with a possibility of 29. Obviously, more money, etc. there, which again I think is good for Prado because he just seems to be at home there. So good for him to get that 2+1 deal done there. Interesting one here. Nate Thrasher to PC on a 1-year deal with a 1-year option. I'm not sure if the option comes. I'm sure there's probably accelerators in that contract to get him his second year there. If not, I'm not sure. It's probably a PC option at that point to keep him around for the second year, but that's interesting. I'd heard he had a deal on the table for Triumph, so very interesting that Triumph has not secured what seems to be anyone. From what I understand, Triumph is going racing with just Deacon Deno in the 250 class, and then they will have Jordan Smith and Aaron Plessinger in the 450 class. So these teams that only run one like that, like KTM was the same way. They'll be different next year, obviously, but KTM was the same way with like only having Juju on the 250, and it's like, so especially during Supercross when he's not racing, we just don't have anybody. That doesn't make any sense to me. I would think you would hire at least 2, so you had 1 on each coast, but I guess it's not my money. I don't know how to spend it. So, but anyway, Thrasher to PC, which is good. I do think Thrasher needs a change of scenery. He's been at Star a long time and kind of in a rut, in my opinion, so we'll see when he gets out of there how that looks. And speaking of Star Racing, Casey Cochran confirmed to have a deal at Star next year. As far as I knew a couple of weeks ago, Cochran had no deal and was working on trying to get something, anything, possibly. So the fact that he now has a Star Racing deal is wildly impressive. I'm sure that is a no money, bonus only 1-year deal here. Big bummer for him too. Yesterday gets to start that first moto and then just hits the deck going up that hill, and I was really worried. He seems to be okay there. If you pay attention, he like immediately rips his goggles off, so I don't know, I haven't heard anything yet. But wow, what a crash and what a move to end up on a Star Racing bike, which is crazy because Star once again will have 67 people riding for it. So the last thing here with silly season, like I said, Mathis confirmed that Mookie's going to Kawasaki for an indoor-outdoor deal for next year. I can't remember if they said or not whether it was a 1 or 2 year deal. Bit of a shocker that Mookie's going to ride outdoors. I heard he was pretty linked to the Hep Suzuki deal, but obviously that's off the table. That's off the table now with him being signed to Kawasaki. Now, if you're wondering why Kawasaki would make this move, I believe Kawasaki is just securing a guy, no matter what happens to Sexton. From what Mathis is reporting, if Sexton stays, they'll run 3 dudes. If Sexton leaves, they'll run 2 dudes. Because Marchbanks, I believe, has already been confirmed to be re-upped for next year too, which is just awesome to see a guy like Marchbanks pull himself up by his bootstraps, sign the 1-year PC deal last year. Now he's on factory Kawasaki. He'll be on factory Kawasaki again next year. Like I said, I think they're just securing a possible Supercross winner just in case Sexton does leave. Whether Sexton leaves or not is still yet to be confirmed. I don't think anybody really knows except for him, and I don't even know that he knows at this point. But I do believe that's what Kawasaki is doing. And then as far as the Hep thing goes, I've heard rumors of Barsha, but Barsha keeps telling Lewis Phillips, nobody's calling me, nobody's calling me, nobody's calling me. So who knows what's going on there. Again, I heard a rumor a while ago about a top U.S. rider being linked to possibly going to MXGP. It's kind of rumored that it's Barsha, but he doesn't seem to be confirming anything, so I don't know. I've also heard a rumor that he's staying at Ducati, and Ferrandis is out, and then RJ's in. But I don't know. That's a mess there that I don't have any super good clarification. So jumping into the TLR Coatings tinfoil hat segment here, and this isn't really like super tinfoil hatty, but World Supercross is selling again, I guess. Heard a rumor that some things were happening, heard that there was a confirmation of something World Supercross wise was happening, and yeah, then I heard this weekend that they are selling again. I'll be interested to know who it's selling to. I'll be interested to see, kind of hear some stories here and dig into kind of why it's selling again. The group that had it, I thought, was a group that could take it kind of next level here. And they were talking very long term of, hey, by this year, next year, whatever, 27, I guess they would be profitable. So kind of interesting to me that they're kind of jumping out already. I don't know. There's lots of things I'd like to know on the back end of this for things, but don't be surprised to see that news drop soon. Like I said, I've heard it's confirmed and it's done and they're selling. I'm very interested to hear who they're selling to. I would really like to know. So, which I'm sure we will, and we'll just have to keep an eye on this space and see where it goes to. So, with that being said, that brings us to the end of our Complete Racing Solutions halftime report. Let's take a quick break, Seth. We'll come back with 250s and get this all wrapped up. So we will be right back. And we're back. What's up, everybody? Episode 348, Unadilla wrap up here. Thanks to our members that are watching. Dreadful, I see you in there, buddy. Thank you for watching. If you guys want to watch us record the stupidest motocross podcast on the internet, make sure to join our members area. You can watch us record this shit show live. $4.99 a month. It's very affordable. I didn't even do a price increase. YouTube wanted me to. I told them no price increase. $5 a month. You can watch this. We also do a Thirsty Thursday live, which is essentially an Ask Me Anything 30-minute live every Thursday night that there's a race, and then we do them sporadically throughout the off season there. So, and I'm actually working on some other content for you guys. Also, there's race, kind of raw behind the scene vlog stuff that we put up also, that I film when I do go to the races that are for members only. So make sure to check those out. And yeah, we really appreciate all the members here. Actually, David's not in here, which pisses me off. David was on the live stream Thursday night, but David's not in here. I don't know what the hell his problem is. He should be here. He's losing his #1 member badge at this point. So, with that being said, let's jump into our 250 race recap, brought to you by our friends at Flo Racing. Make sure to check them out for all your parts needs. If you need a sick ass PW50 built, Flo Racing are the people for that. So the 250 class is still the 250 class, man. Who the hell knows what is going to happen here? We came into this weekend with kind of the same expectations that we had. Was like anything could possibly happen here. We have seen giant points leads literally get eliminated in 1 week, and this week was no different. Levi Kitchen, Eli Kitchen. Jesus, it's a rough day here. Levi Kitchen comes in 7 points up, leaves only a single point up. Cole Davies goes 2-1 on the day with an absolutely phenomenal ride, especially considering the fact he power bombed himself into the ground in qualifying there. I saw that. I was like, man, that's not good. I hope he's all right. He did get up and finish off, but I was like, this is going to be a rough day. But to be honest, man, he nailed it and kind of showed why Cole Davies is Cole Davies. And I heard this, I think Jason Thomas was referring to it this weekend. Every everybody, whether they're consciously or just kind of subconsciously doing it in the 250 class, is kind of looking at Cole Davies to be the guy to take over, and he kind of is without even really trying here as far as outdoors go. I will say this outdoor season has given me hope that when he does have to go to 450s here after next year, because he's going to win that 250 Supercross title again, that he will be proficient outdoors. So yeah, so Cole Davies 1 point down here. Again, we're basically fresh start for motos here, but again, anything could happen. Davies could be 20 points up next week leaving Budds Creek, and Kitchen could win this title by 3 points come Ironman. No one seems to want to win this title. No one seems it's wild. It's absolutely wild. So Kitchen goes 1-6. It's Kitchen luck mixed with Kitchen mistakes, okay? The Kitchen luck is just kind of like, you go back to Millville, right? He gets body slammed by Caden Dundee in the first turn at Millville. Not his fault. Still gets up, has a great ride, sore shit, whatever. The first turn here at Unadilla second moto, he gets ran wide off the track. They almost take out a photographer. Him and a bunch of other guys got to turn around. Again, not really his fault. Him and Juju just kind of leaning on each other going into that first corner. Somebody else on the inside like pushed out a little bit, and bingo bango, here we are. But then to essentially be to put in that much effort to get back to fifth place, and then essentially be rolling around the last corner, and then get passed by Brody Conley. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, if I'm Mitch, you're getting a very stern talking to back at the truck of, we don't ever give up. We don't ever slow down. We go until we get to the finish. Now, I assume that's the way it'll be from now on, is he will go until he gets to the finish, because I don't think he was very stoked on that last corner there. To end up getting sixth instead of fifth after the ride he put in, that probably kicked him in the nuts himself as hard as everybody else. But yeah, this to me, as much as I like Kitchen, dude, and he's a cool dude, this to me is like the show of like, this is why you probably won't be a champion, dude. Like, it's little things like that that just, whatever. It keeps you from that. Let's put it that way. So, Hymas goes 4-2 for third overall. Chance just slowly, he's building. Little building block, little building block, little building block, little building block. We're going to look up, and next thing he's going to be winning again. So, fingers crossed here he makes it through the next two without any issues, because I know that's part of his thing, is he's trying to just kind of stay healthy here. So, hopefully makes it through these last couple rounds, last 3 rounds of SMX, and then goes into next year healthy and can stay healthy, because Chance Hymas is a guy. He's definitely a player. Re-up deal at Honda there, so that's cool. Carson Mumford, 3-4 for fourth. Here's the feel-good story in the 250 class here. Mumphy, one of the guys at Geico Honda coming up, just gets dicked essentially as right as he's supposed to go pro. Geico shuts down. There's really nowhere for him to go. He's bouncing back and forth, team to team, year to year, no real home. And now here he is. He's found a home here at AEO, re-upped for next year, and the results are starting to show through, man. And this is super duper cool to see. So, it'd be really cool to see him get an overall podium. But dude, to go 3-4 on the day for fourth overall, he can't be upset about that, dude. Behind guys that, like, no offense, but I don't think he should be beating the guys that beat him. And there's guys he beat that I don't necessarily believe he should be beating. So, Ryder D goes 5-3 for fifth. So day for Ryder, but I don't believe that Unadilla is necessarily his style track there. Brody Conley comes over from New Zealand, goes 8-5 for sixth. Which was good, including tracking Kitchen back down there after that whole thing. So good on him for not giving up before he gets to the finish line. Drew Adams goes 7-9 for seventh. Okay. Caden Dundee goes 6-11 for eighth. Again, great. Nate Thrasher, 10-12 for ninth. Julian Beaumer goes 913 for 10th in what I thought should have been a much better day than it was. But again, some bad lucks on the start there, and he's riding through and just kind of trying to make it happen. But he looked really good in practice, and I thought he stood a really, really good chance, but such is life. So at least Julian is proving, in my opinion, that he can ride outdoors also. So that's cool. Pierce Brown on his comeback tour here goes 17-7 for 11th. He's been really invisible since he came back. And yeah, hopefully we'll see him at SMX here actually do some things. So Mosman, Michael Motorcycle there goes 18-8 for 12th. He is influencing on social media, and if you don't follow him, he is worth the follow. He is funny. Alex Larwood. He doesn't even have a picture. He doesn't have where he's from. I don't know who the hell this person is, but went 16-10 for 13th, so great job. Dylan Schwartz goes 11-15 for 14th. Caden Manier, rough day, 14-14 for 15th. Probably just not a Unadilla guy per se. Avery Long, 15-18 for 16th. Landon Gordon, 12-23 for 17th. Anybody? He's re-signed for next year, but anybody? What if he's not? Anybody? It's not great looking. Marshall Welton broke a tooth. Michigan's own goes 13-26 for 18th. Cole Timbo goes 20-17 for 19th. And Hunter Yoder rounds out the top 20. Going 22-16 for 20th. Outside of that, doesn't look like we've got any real honorable mentions. We talked about Casey Cochran with that crash in the first moto, didn't start the second moto. Evan Ferry came back, went 35 DNS. So Lord knows what happened to him. And Dax Bennick, 27 DNS. The dichotomy between Daxton Bennett and Deegs, who grew up together racing together, that just shows you when you have that fight in you, what it looks like. So, also, I guess, Deacon Deno goes 30-36 for 34th, but they had some bike issues, so who knows? We'll see. Welcome to Triumph Racing, I guess. So, with that being said, that's your 250 race recap. And I guess that's kind of all we got for today. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to our members for watching. Again, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. We do all sorts of media throughout the week. We have a Wednesday live show. We have the Thirsty Thursday, and then obviously the live recording of this. This show comes out Tuesday, and we are posting all sorts of riding footage and show shorts every single day of the week because we are psychopaths here. So our job is to try to act like we are 47 people when in reality, we are 2. Me and that guy over there, Seth.
That's me.
So, with that being said, thanks everybody for tuning in. Seth, thanks for coming in.
Of course.
And yeah, we'll be back next week with another show. Hopefully, we'll have an in-studio guest. I ran down my list today, and I just ran out of friends. I don't know what to tell you. So, anyway.
Backups to our backups.
The backups to our backups were out of town. So, anyway, that being said, this has been episode 348. We will see everybody on the next one. Thanks for tuning into the Moto Aftermath show. If you guys like the show, make sure to give us a thumbs up there with that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so you never miss a show update, a live show, or anything that we're doing here, because when we find out news, we will be on here bringing you our thoughts with it. Also, if you guys want to help support the show, join our members area. You'll get member exclusives, including live shows. You get to watch the show being recorded live, and you'll get all sorts of other member benefits. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Join the members area, subscribe. We'll see y'all on the next one.